Hello, everyone. good evening, and happy late Saturday night. It is 9:48 here in Alabama. It has been my intention all day long to go live, right? To go live. But things were hectic. It's also Father's Day weekend. And so one of the things that I try to make sure I do is that my husband feels as appreciated as everyone else in the family. And so we want to make sure, of course, that we're celebrating our men and doing all the things for them because they are incredible, right? So happy Saturday to all of you. I am Christina of the Mompreneur Diaries, your productivity coach. If it is your first time being here with us for a little while, it is my honor and privilege to support ambitious mothers, superstar, incredible ladies with all the tools they need to get more done by strategically doing less. Okay. What does that look like? That often looks like organizing your busy world. Okay. That looks like finding ways to be more productive, figuring out what the ideal situation is for your goals, and then working on moving everything around so that you can be the fullest version of who you are. Okay. I meant to do this live earlier today. So I'm going to take a second and tag a couple of ladies who were like, Christina, please pop in and talk about this mom entrepreneur life. Hi, Sandra. Please pop in here and talk about being a wife and being a mother and building a sustainable business. Please come up in here and talk about the intersection of doing all the things. Okay. So I want you all to hang on for 1 second. I'm going to tag a couple ladies. But what I really want is to hear from you guys if you are a business owner, right? Take a second and tell us in the comments or tell everyone else in the comments what kind of business you have. I want to hear from you as we are building amazing ideas. I want to hear from you as you are trying to figure out what your next is going to look like. We want to hear from you today, okay? And the reason for all of this is for many times, we have an idea, we have a dream, we have a area of passion where we are pumped up, ready, excited, but we're not realizing how in the world do I organize my life to make this idea happen. Okay. I'm about to hit this Instagram live too. I'm about to multitask. Okay. Hold on, y'all. All right. Hold on for Instagram. All right, here we go. So a lot of times we are trying to figure out how in the world do we get more done by strategically doing less? How do I find the happy intersection of doing everything that I feel so inclined to do? And so Adelia, she sent a post to me the other day, and the post read something like this: "Oh, the struggle of being so multifaceted when you want to be a wife and you want to be a stay-at-home mom, but you also want to contribute financially, but you also want to spend time with your children, but you also want to find purpose through a dream of your own. What in the world do you do?" Good evening. When you are building so many layers and you're trying to figure out, how do I make this happen? Here in the Momathon community, this is all we do. Literally, this is it. All we do is talk to women, wives, mothers. Some of them are homeschooling moms. Some are work-at-home moms. Others are C-suite sisters who are climbing the ladder. Some of them own their own businesses. Some of them are authors, attorneys, politicians, right? Some are educators. It is literally a myriad of different types of ladies from different demographics. But get this, most of us all have the same problem. Seriously, I have a Hollywood actress on my roster, right, who comes to me for wife, mom intersection with career balance, right? I have women who are homeschooling mothers who come and talk to me about how I homeschool my 5 children and what does that look like. I have ladies who want to build a career doing what I do, which is coaching, consulting, speaking, media out the wazoo, right? Like my son was just on an Atlanta TV show this past week. And I told him, I said, son, let's go ahead and do your pitch because you're about to be on TV again. Right? And he's like, Mom, how do you know they're going to take me? I was like, son, your mom has, by God's grace, mastered the art of public relations. They're going to take you, right? Hey, Kim. And so the idea is intersecting all of these roles, okay? Whether you're a mom of one, I believe, like Kim, a mom of 5, like me, if you have 8 children, I know some ladies who have 10 children. What was y'all doing? Okay. Some of you all are divorced. Some have blended families. Some have this going on. Some have that going on. We all have this wide arrangement of situations. And in the midst of having these situations, all of us end up feeling like we are the one and only. In our unique situation, all of us feel like we are the one and only person who is dealing with insert this challenge, insert this situation, insert this problem, or this thing I have to overcome. I'm a unicorn. There's no way that Christina has seen my situation before. What's so funny is every woman we get on, especially, they want to talk about coaching. We get on a discovery call and we're going through all the things. And then they kind of brain dump out everything. I ask them, tell me about your life. Tell me about your goals. Tell me about what's not working. Tell me about what feels like it's moving slower than you want it to. It can be better, but this is what the situation is, right? And in the midst of that, they always say, it's always a disclaimer, 2 things. Y'all want to know what those 2 things are? Everybody says this. So when you and I, whenever that time is, get on a discovery call, you are also going to feel inclined to say one of these 2 things. The first one is, I know this is a lot for you. I know this is a lot. Every time, everybody says this. And I just feel like me just talking about my marriage and my children, how I want to homeschool, but I'm overwhelmed, and And then I have this business, and I know the business is doing what it could do. And then I know this is a lot. Everybody says this. The second thing that everybody says is, I really do love my kids, but everybody gives the disclaimer about how they love their children. And what I tell them all the time is, number one, as much as I want to hype you up and tell you I've never talked to a woman who has the complaints or situations that you have, I would be lying. I talk to women all the time who have the similar situation, or at least the mental hurdles that you are trying to overcome about your situation. Okay? You're not a unicorn. As much as you want to be a unicorn, almost everybody says the same thing. I just know everything that I'm sharing with you is so much. Okay, not for me, maybe for you, right? I really do love my children, but this is where I am. I'm just tired of them. Okay, you're allowed to be tired. So in the midst of all of this, we want to talk for a few minutes tonight about what is slowing down your progress. Okay, if you are a superstar mom, if you are pressing forward, Kim, they be saying it. Everybody. I told one of my clients, she might actually watch this live tonight. We were on the phone a couple days ago, last week actually, and I was like, listen, you have permission to be a more basic mom. You have permission. If you were looking for somebody to tell you you don't have to do all this, I'm here. I was like, the government only requires you to feed your children, give them somewhere to sleep. They got to have some clothes, make sure they go to school or get educated. That's like really all the government requires of you. If you are hugging and kissing and affirming and celebrating and doing more than just enough for your kids, you are an incredible mom. I was like, you wouldn't even be on the phone with me or on Zoom with me if you weren't a great mom. You just want to be better. You want to sharpen your tools, right? You want to become a more refreshed version of yourself, because the version you're showing your family right now is giving 4 out of 10. It's giving 4 out of 10. Kim said, not the government standards, but for real. Like all I'm legally required to do for my children is the bare minimum. And I kind of laughed. I think this was helpful for her though. It's like we want to do special things for our kids, but just like Incredibles, when the villain on the first Incredibles, he said, if everyone is special, that means no one is. If every day is incredibly special, that means no day is special. It's just like every other day. So let's give our children special days by not being special every day. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And so tonight, for a little bit, we're going to talk about what is slowing you down. Okay. In addition, my husband gave me a fresh lineup, and I just know y'all need to see me from the side. Y'all see that? Y'all see it? I don't know what this little piece is doing right here. This little curl I've been playing with all day, but that's all right. Girl, look at that. Okay. All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. What is slowing you down? Why not you? Why are you not the ultimate example of a mom who is on the move, right? Kim said, I see it, sis, girl. All right. Why are we not the ultimate example of what God is doing in our lives? Okay. What's holding us back? And so I saw that post the other day that basically the gist of it was, I want to be I'm Every Woman. I want to do. I want to give. I want to submit something to the household fund, right? I want to have something that I can give and be a superstar working mom. I also want to control my own schedule. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be all of these different roles. How do I do the different roles? And so what I'll do for the month of June, I'll do a masterclass on this exact topic, but I'm going to pull from some of the notes that we're sharing tonight. I tagged two of the ladies that I can recall commented on that post. But I want you all to know from this place right now that there are some things that could be slowing down your progress and holding you back, but I'm also going to give you what you need to overcome it. Okay, we're going to do all those tonight in this live. And then if it speaks to you, you like, oh my goodness, we have 3 ways that we can serve you: through our community, through our conference, and through our coaching packages. 1, 2, and 3. Community that you'll meet at the conference. And the best way to savor the conference is because you are a client. All right. So number 1, what's slowing you down? You have doubt that you can be a creator. Okay, you have doubt that you can be a creator. Now, let's just be honest for a second. We know we can create, especially if we are a mom, adopted, blended family. You push the baby out through your vajayjay. Whichever way you became a mother, right? Whichever way you entered into this walk, you are a creator of love. Okay, it starts inside of you, it pours out to others. You are the atmosphere shifter in your home. You are the queen of the castle. You are all of that and then some. Okay, but sometimes we might doubt that we can create on demand. Sometimes we doubt that we can create on demand. What does that mean? There are certain results that we are looking for in our lives every day. We're looking for the opportunity to nurture our families, okay? Good relationships don't just happen. Good communication doesn't just happen. An organized home doesn't just happen. There's a myriad of things that don't just unfold and open up in our lives. Having a business that works for you and serves you does not just happen. There are a whole host of things, okay, that you might have to work on getting to the next level with. Okay, a whole lot of those things. Send it to a couple people. There are some challenges that you'll be up against, but sometimes we may doubt that we have the power of creation. I want to insert a thought today. I just want to insert the thought today that if God is a creator and I'm his child, I'm his daughter, then that means I have that same ability to create results as well. I get to do that. Now, tonight we're specifically talking to moms who have businesses, moms who are birthing great things, moms who are manufacturing missions to put good things into the world. I'm especially talking to you guys tonight. I'm especially talking to those who have these audacious goals that are larger than life. And maybe, just maybe, you are doubting for a second your ability to create different results. Maybe that's what it is. Sometimes we can be so confined to what has been before. Sometimes we can be confined to the results we got the last time. Sometimes we can struggle to move around. This is how I see myself. Sometimes we got to work around. I didn't have the willpower for it before. I don't feel like it's in my hand to do something with. Sometimes I don't feel that way. And I have to remind myself that if God is a creator and I'm God's daughter, that means that I get to create too. That if I'm his child, I also have the ability to produce love and something new and a defined objective into the world. I'm going to give you an example. In the past, right, y'all know we have the Momathon conference coming up October 27th through the 29th in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, it's going to be everything. So excited. And so anyway, with the whole conference stuff coming out, I've been working on sponsorships. We are partnering with multiple nonprofits this year to sponsor single moms, widowed moms, moms from low-income communities to make their way to the conference and get information that they otherwise would not get. Okay. Hey, Stacy. And so in the midst of all of this, do you all feel like the relationships, the collaborations, the partnering just happens out of thin air? Somebody tell me in the comments for real. Do y'all feel like it just shows up and manufactures out of thin air? Like people just happen to find me. They just happen to ask me. Now it happens every now and then. But the multiple opportunities that I have seen before me over these years, I have had to partner with God's will for my life to go out and get those things. And I often use Essence Magazine as an example. Hey, Jamila, I'm glad you made it here. Do you all feel like, now listen, Essence finds a whole lot of people. Christina was not one of them. Let me just put that out there right now. Essence finds a lot of people. Christina was not one of them. All right. So as I was working my way through that process, I told myself, you know what? I want to be in Essence Magazine. I really do. And I told y'all these stories, but I want y'all to understand how much they were not looking for me. So I had to go and find and create the result that I wanted. 2 years before it happened, I was talking about it on the internet. Was I not, Stacy? Somebody DM'd me the other day. She saw the most recent Essence feature that we had this year. She saw it. She was like, I remember you talking about this in 2021. I remember you talking about this. I'm so excited to see that you did it. But it was not anything. They didn't find me. Every single, 2 out of the 3 times in the last year, I had to shoot my shot. I had to create the result. I had to say, God, I need you to help me. I had to prepare myself through training, through coaching, through how do I learn how to craft a well-framed media pitch in order to secure the opportunities. I didn't just write a random email that was ugly. I had to learn how to create the results. So a lot of times what's slowing down our progress is not preparing to create the results, okay? And then not believing that we actually can. Do you believe in your hearts, at least from now on, even if it wasn't before, but at least from now on, that because God is a creator, you're a creator too? Any goal that I set, I achieve, period. I choose not to believe anything other than that story. Now, you have different stories that you could believe about yourself. I choose to believe the one that says every result that I want to manufacture, I can do that. because God's on my side. Do you believe he's on your side? Therefore, any goal that I have that I can conceive in my mind, I can bring forth in my life because God is a creator. I'm his child, so I'm one too. Okay. Number two, another reason why you feel like things are not going as fast as they could. Another reason why certain things are slowing you down. Number two, you struggle with decision making. You struggle with decision making. Okay. Overthinking, strategic procrastination. Okay. Praying on it. Now, listen, y'all know I love Jesus. Y'all know I'm rocking with him, right? You all know I'm working on surrendering every aspect of my life to the Father, right? Like, y'all know I'm in this thing. I fully believe in praying about decisions and all of that. But some of us are utilizing overthinking, procrastination. I'm going to pray about it. Let me talk to my husband. All of these things as a way to slow our progress down. It's like a subtle sabotage. It's a subtle sabotage. It is choosing to do this thing over here that feels better because I don't want to feel uncomfortable. It's a subtle sabotage. It is procrastinating, but in a very careful way, because you know there's nothing wrong with doing this other thing. The problem is you're using the other thing to avoid what you're really supposed to be doing. Stacey said it's the comfort trap. So are you aware enough to notice the places where you are strategically laying off making a decision? Are you aware enough of yourself, of the way your brain works, to say, you know what? I was on a call yesterday and I had some coaching calls this week, and I was just working with my clients on making decisions. That was it, making decisions. That's all we were talking about. Because a lot of times what's slowing our life down is not wanting to choose. So we color it something really sexy. I'm praying about it. Let me wait to see what the Holy Spirit says. Right? Let me wait and see when God like writes on the wall, like in the Old Testament. We're waiting on that. All of these different elements. Let me go and talk to my husband about this decision. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'll talk to my husband about decisions. But it's to come to a common ground about something we already know. So is this the thing, or is it going to be something different? It's okay, but we already know. Like, I didn't get on a call to talk about coaching with somebody, and I hadn't talked to my husband about wanting to coach. Stacey said, keep the fleece dry, let the ground be wet. Y'all know Gideon, let the ground be wet, let the fleece be. We do all of these things. I never got on a coaching call and had not told my husband anything whatsoever about me wanting to work with somebody. So all of the necessary things that had to happen for me to walk into a mastermind, right? That's good. That's transforming my mindset and my skill set and all these things. This evolved person who is ready in every aspect to do all the things. Like, this version is it was expensive. My husband evolving and changing. We got him a coach too. But what y'all think? I had to invest in this. Okay? I had to do that. That's something I had to do. But I did not go and get on a call with somebody to talk about coaching, and my husband had no idea that I needed a coach. Kim. Oh, he had no idea that I was going to come back and say, babe, it's 5 figures. It's this much. It wasn't like out of the blue. So what really happens is you have stalled your decision making, and now you have a reason. Let me think about it. Let me pray. Let me go and check this and check that. Okay. But what's really happening internally is we're just procrastinating on making a decision, because making decisions is hard. And a lot of times the discomfort that comes with choosing one thing means the disappointment of leaving something else behind. If I choose to, let's see, let me pick a thing. If I choose, I'm looking at another part of my house. If I choose to get somebody to come in and organize my whole house, my books, my debt, all the stuff in my house, right? If I come and choose that, it is me letting go of my own control issues. Y'all see where I'm going? Y'all see where I'm going with this? If I go and choose for somebody to come in and clean my whole house, it means I have to let go of saying I want everything done my way. If I choose to delegate, I have to let go of my ego. If I choose to get a business coach, it means I don't know everything about building a $10 million business. Who does? Right? Like, you better go find somebody who got a $20 million business so she can show you how to get to 10. That's what I did. Right? Y'all see where I'm going with this? When you choose one thing, you're inadvertently letting go of a different thing. And it's the grief of letting go of the different thing that makes us spiral. What? Girl, what you say? So the decision-making aspects, right? I've had some ladies who are interested in coaching, and they're like, listen, I need to talk to my husband about me coaching. Here's what's really interesting. Most of the time, we fake it so good. I'm not talking about faking it in other ways. That's between you and the Lord. Okay. Maybe I need a different kind of therapist, different kind of coach. Anyway, I'm talking about faking it so good at home. Most of us fake it so well that we don't even show. Kim is laughing, y'all. Anyway, most of us fake it so good. We fake superwoman good. We fake super wife, super mom. I got it all together so good that even our husbands don't realize we are falling apart inside. So the act of saying, I want to get support with getting organized and growing my platform and my mission and all this stuff, because I'm feeling very overwhelmed, is a confession in and of itself. And that might be a conversation you're not ready to have yet. You might not be ready to say, I'm not happy with my life right now. I don't like who I've become in this relationship. I don't like who I've become as their mom. I don't like who I've become as a business person because I can't unplug. I don't like that. I don't know how to confess that to you. This is a whole different kind of conversation. One of my newer clients, her husband was like, well, listen, we solved this problem. You're already doing so much better after just one session. She was like, it's like night and day around here. I was like, great. It's just your first week. You know, he said, listen, tell the coach you're good. That's all you need. He doesn't realize that postpartum is ripping her from the inside. And she's trying to find a way to breathe. And so we're getting all this stuff together and giving her permission to do less and all of these things. He didn't realize the heaviness of where she was. A whole different conversation that has to be had. And most of us are so good at faking it that when we finally go to make a decision about it, it's like a confession that I don't have it all together. I've been faking it so good for you. I've been putting on my game face, but I just hope you realize I am not this person. I'm not doing well. I'm just not doing good. What's wrong? I don't really know. I just know my life is supposed to be different than this. And I'm not blaming it on anybody. I know it's me. I know I need to do some soul work. I get that. And I want to get some help with becoming that person. But making the decision that you want to progress in whatever way, whether that's going to go see Stacy because she's a therapist, Whether you want to go back to your doctor for whatever reason, whether you need to see a physical therapist or a pelvic floor therapist or whatever it is you need, whatever resource it is, you have to make a decision about moving forward in that way. And moving forward in that way, Miss Charlotte, who is my very holistic physical therapist, she's coming back to the conference again this year. She was the highlight because she was up in there talking about like pelvic floor and what your body is not supposed to be doing and pain during sex. And like, she was up there for a good, everybody just kept having more and more questions. More and more questions. Somebody was like, you telling me I'm not supposed to like leak a little when this happens and I'm not supposed to, it was like so heavy. And she was like, we as women don't talk about our pelvic floor and how when you have a baby or any kind of surgical intervention, especially in your abdomen, stuff might get jacked up. She's like, we don't talk about this. But then all of a sudden, everybody and a mama was like, that's me. She started listing things. There was only 2 people in the room, period, who had never experienced any of the symptoms that she was talking about. So I'm using all that as a reference that when you start to say you need help, you need support, it's raising your hand and saying, I didn't realize that leaking a little bit when I sneeze was normal. Everybody in there was like, what? What are pelvic weights? What is this? What is that? It was, everybody's mind was blown. It was like the best session of last year. Anyway, not the best, but for that reason. So anyway, it's the idea though of admitting that I need help. That support is needed. Okay. So number 1, you doubt that you can actually create the results that you believe, that you want for yourself. You have a situation where you're not full of confidence, Godfidence, right? All of those things. You're just not sure about it. You're not sure. So of course we're not going to make moves forward if we're just not sure that I can actually get what Christina is promising. If I'm not sure about it, well, I just don't really believe. Number 2, you struggle with decision making because decision making comes from the root word, which is size, CIS, which means to cut off. So I get to make a decision about my results. I get to cut off every other option and opportunity other than the result I know is possible. Y'all got me? So you doubt you can create the result. You're not sure. You don't really believe fully in yourself. That's okay. Number 2, you struggle with decision making, going all the way in and saying, I'm cutting off every other option. And then number 3, you struggle with consistency and follow through. Consistency and follow through. I laugh all the time. I had a friend of mine. She used to make like jewelry and hair stuff and everything. And her husband one time called the business that she was working on building a hobby. And she was so upset with him. She was like, how could you call when I'm putting my life into a hobby? Okay. And I asked her this question. This is years ago, and I still hold true to what I said. I said, well, I have a question. So does this side hustle situation pay a bill yet? Does this side hustle, this thing on the side, pay a bill? Whether that's a grocery bill, some gas, the lights, pick a thing. Okay, does it pay bills, right? And she was like, well, no, it's not paying bills, but it's still my work. Okay. And I told her, I was like, listen, truth and love, if it doesn't pay bills yet, it's technically a hobby and something that you do because you enjoy it. You have a business to earn money, right? You have a business to use your passion, your expertise, your knowledge, what you do with your hands to produce income, an exchange of value. It's like, but if there's no exchange of value happening at the level that is contributing to the bacon bringing of the family, then technically it's a hobby. And that's okay if he sees it that way because he's still paying all the bill, right? And so it can be a challenging situation when you are looking for a certain result, but you haven't yet been able to follow through on the result. It can be challenging. I'm going to say this again. It can be challenging to be consistent, and it can be challenging to follow through until you get the result you're desiring. The result that you are desiring could look like a life that flows well where you don't feel overwhelmed. The life you're desiring could look like your business generating the amount of money that you wanted to generate. For a lot of my clients, they have a career that they love, they have the family they love, and they're trying to find that intersection of building something big and still being present. Okay, still feeling like they're not doing all the work, still feeling like they're getting results without maxing out. That's my clients. A lot of them are in very fast pace. I'm not going to call them high achieving or whatever the terms are nowadays, but they're in fast paced careers. Okay, so we have attorneys and doctors and therapists. I have a client that's running for political office. I have a Hollywood actress, right, where her schedule is bonkers. I have women who work in public relations for different network, like all these kind of things, situations, like different women on our roster, different community ladies, educators, influencers, all kinds of clients over here. But they are women who are moving at a very fast pace. Very fast pace. So they're trying to figure out how to ground themselves and still be present, how to build without their minds running at 1,000 miles an hour, how to just make a decision that works. And so you can struggle because some of us have like adult ADHD, right? Or ADD, where it could be something chemical that's going on with our minds, where we, might see a therapist about it or go to our doctor, all this kind of stuff. But some other times we just lack focus. Other times we say we're going to do something and then we get shiny object syndrome and switch gears. Okay. Other times we start the process with one opportunity. It's not moving as fast as we want. We jump ship and go to a different one. So, of course, when you are presented with the opportunity to create a different result, you now no longer trust yourself. You now no longer believe. Am I like in your house? You now no longer believe that you are the person that can follow through, because I have jumped ship so many other times. I have been inconsistent so many other times. I have given up on this goal, this business idea, this dream body, whatever you want to call it, so many other times. They say the worst person to break promises to is yourself. Is yourself. But we do it every day. We say, I'm going to do this. And then we don't do it. That's why I'm live tonight at 10 o'clock, right? Because I said I was going to do something. We're going to do it. We're going to follow through. We're going to be consistent. We're going to show up. See, if you want to have this intersection of your having a healthy relationship and nurturing your children and being present and building this bomb business and this platform and all this stuff, being in the media and all these incredible things, collaborations, and we're moving to this place of international influence, which is like crazy. Because of where I see Mamathon going, I can't afford to not follow through. We are working on sponsoring 30 women, single, widowed, low income, to come to the Mamathon conference this year, because I know when women come into that room, they're going to be changed forever. I know that. Not because of my words, but because of the women that they're going to meet when they get there. Our ladies are like powerhouse women, everyone in their own right, every single one. And they're all walking out the path of what we represent here. which is a healthy work life and rest integration. So I know that if I heard women making 5 figures every month in my 20s, it would change how I think forever. If I heard about women loving their men well and raising their children and still getting rest and not being overwhelmed and building a successful legacy, if I could hear that at 25, at 30 something, it changes how you live at 50 all the way. So you have to be able to hear that. You got to be able to go back to that over and over again, because exposure changes the game. And so a lot of times, y'all, we struggle with consistency and follow through because we have broken promises to ourselves in the past. We have told ourselves, you're going to be this person. I'm going to accomplish this year. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And because we have dropped the ball to ourselves and others in the past, we are hesitant about moving forward in a dynamic way because we don't trust it. We don't trust it. And so what do we do on the flip side of that? We learn to commit. We learn to commit. Okay. We learn to be the person that goes in and she's all in. I had a discovery call with the mama. A couple of my most recent clients, y'all, they didn't even want a discovery call. They were like, listen, you're my person. I know based on my needs, I'm your person. Like, here's my email. Just send me what your coaching stuff is so I can just sign up. Right. And I was like, all right, like, let's make moves. Let's let this discovery call be your first coaching session. Let's not waste time. Right. In the midst of all of these things, you're learning to commit. The women that are here, commit. Doesn't have to be with me. It can be with whoever you want it to be. But listen, commit, go all in. A lot of times it's hard to think that what's slowing us down is us. And I shared the other day, and we're going to wrap up soon. I shared the other day about the cost of success. Brian Tracy says that success has a fee. It has an investment cost. And a lot of times it must be paid up front. We want to have success and then pay the cost of success instead of paying the cost of success through following through, being consistent, being the best version of yourself on a regular basis. That's too much work if I don't see the payoff. That's too much because I don't see the payoff yet, as opposed to the reward actually being who I've become as a person, okay? Every day I am rewarded by an elevated mindset, sharpening my skill set, being able to partner with and even coach my kids, like not, sit down in my chair, like Stacy, lean back on my virtual couch and but it's like, listen, well, what would we do if this were the case? How could we handle? What do you think about these things? Like, my relationship with my family has been better because I've improved myself, So we have to learn how to commit. We have to lean all the way in, jump all the way in and say, I know I am meant to be this person. I know I'm destined to become this particular woman. Okay. And very often I finally got a plant in the frame. Y'all see that? Yes, I finally got a plant in the frame. So a lot of times we love so much more watering our plants, also known as procrastinating strategically. We would much rather do the easy thing instead of the challenging thing that we're really supposed to be doing. Okay. So I want to pull you this evening by reminding you can have it all, do it all, be all. Okay. Regardless of what the stigma is, there isn't much that you can opt out of. If you are a wife, right? Some of us are dating or have partners or whatever. But if you are in a relationship, if you are somebody's mama, if you are a business owner or you're climbing the ladder in corporate or whatever, if you are committed to changing your family's life, your legacy, your community, there's not a whole lot that you can opt out of. But my thought pattern is we bridge the gap as fast as possible between where you are and where you want to go. Okay. We create the path that takes me directly there as opposed to the scenic version of being all over the place. Let me see if I can find my little picture that I drew from. Oh, here we go. All right, so this is the picture I drew for my client, and then we're gonna wrap up. It's a really ugly picture, so I need y'all to just bear with me. A lot of times, this is what goal reaching looks like. Y'all see that? You see that? A lot of times, this is what goal reaching looks like. Okay, I'm gonna lean in. What we think goal reaching is supposed to look like is this one right here. Okay, I'm going to go reach my goals. I'm about to be all I can be. You know, y'all seen the picture of what success looks like versus what it really looks like. I want to challenge the opposite perspective. Okay, where we think goal reaching is supposed to look like this all over the place until we get to where we want to go. I want to challenge that it can look like this. I want to challenge that you can go through some humps and bumps. You might come back a little bit and pivot. You might move up, lose 10 more pounds. You might regress back some. You got pregnant. You was being nasty. Okay. Then we get to move up some more and all these other things until we reach where we're trying to go. I want to challenge that it doesn't have to look this way. It can actually look this way. And the best way I know to cut to the chase, get to the goal faster, and without all the humps and bumps is through coaching with me. Okay. Now we have a multitude of ways that we get to serve you. I always say there are three. We have through our community. Okay. But you meet the community here online, but also at the conference. Okay. We have the 3 C's. Our community comes to our event. All right. This year, we are gathering October 27th through the 29th in Atlanta, Georgia, right? Stacey said that accountability. But imagine how much more successful you'll be when you have that accountability every single week. And we get to build on top of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get to continue to layer those bricks, okay? So we have our community of women. That is the ladies that I coach with, my clientele, the ladies that we have a network of women all across the country, right? All across the world. We have ladies coming from Canada and Trinidad and all the stuff. But brilliant women who are doing amazing work. And just from being in the atmosphere and at the event with the ladies, you're automatically moved forward faster because of that community, okay? And so you get to meet the community at the conference in Atlanta this October, okay? And then beyond that, we have one-to-one coaching where I work with you every single week. And we talk about what's holding you back, what's going on in your mind and your spirit, where are we cluttered in our life. You know, a lot of times we just keep adding on more and more things to do instead of this right here. We intentionally add more things. We intentionally procrastinate. We intentionally overthink. We intentionally go and find new things. We're going to create an ebook, right? We're going to create, I don't know, mugs. We're going to do everything else besides put ourselves out and say that we're going to be this person. We're going to do everything else besides put together a proposal for coaching and therapy, mental health coaching to organizations, because that's the fastest way for you to earn $10,000, Stacey. Right? That's the fastest way over here, but we want to stay over here creating new things. I don't know if she's creating new things, but I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. Okay. So a lot of times we need help moving from this to this. Okay. A lot of times it's okay to need support with moving from this to this. We got kids over here. We have our hubby over here. We have our self-care over here. We have all of this stuff over here. And the fastest way for you to be more rested and make more money and improve yourself as a person is over here. But we have to overcome, why do I feel like I'm adding new things? Why do I feel like I'm overwhelmed? I'm burned out, all this stuff. Doesn't matter who you are. It happens to the best of us. I have some really dope, fast forward women who pause to come to me for coaching because they know I want to go the furthest and I need to be in tip-top shape up here with my decision making and being on point because I know I want to become a different person. Okay. And so if that's you, If you are in that mix, I invite for you to shoot me a message. Let's talk about working together for 3 months or for 6 months, because you know that there are changes you need to make, and you can't, you don't want to be double-minded. It's a good scripture in James. We don't want to be double-minded in all of our ways, where we slow down on our progress because we can't make powerful decisions. Okay. So next time I go live, I'll be talking about committing to our decisions, committing to being this type of person. It won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be a lunch and learn for Monday. All right. But I love you guys dearly. I look forward to talking to you about what you're going to be doing next. If you have questions about anything that I have talked about this evening, feel free to shoot me a message, and then we will go from there. All right. Love y'all so much. Have an incredible night, and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye. Cherry, I love you. Hi. I'm sorry you missed it. Definitely go back and catch the replay. Okay. I love you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you all in Atlanta in October, and we will catch up next time.